Cool. Millionaire podcast, Charles Oaksby, top millionaire. And we out here. We haven't done one of these in a long time, but we're back. We're going to be launching a brand new kind of like mini series on the podcast. We're going to be talking to a lot of professional, ex-professional athletes about business and finance, because we're seeing some really cool things out there where, in my opinion, I think that they're kind of coming into the game and already thinking business. And then even after they leave, now they're still, of course, thinking about business. And it wasn't always like this. It really was not always like this. So it's cool to be able to have these conversations with people who have seen life at the highest of levels and to see what they're doing right now, and just kind of here to learn more about them. So today we have a brother, Antonio Graham. He is formerly from Baltimore, Maryland, and he resides in Kansas City. He is a professional basketball player, former professional basketball player. He has a degree in business. Talk about how that impacts him in his career after sports, and he loves stock and crypto options. Welcome, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just want to say thanks for allowing me to be on your podcast and on your platform, man. I appreciate it.
So can you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what life was like growing up?
So yeah, my name is Antonio Graham. Everybody calls me Tony. Always been a quiet guy. I'm from Baltimore. I don't live in Kansas City. I live in the state of Kansas. I live in the sticks. All my friends and family make fun of me.
Right?
Yeah.
Kansas City's not even in Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas City is in Missouri. It is a Kansas City, Kansas as well. But when everybody say Kansas City, they talk about Missouri. But I live in the state of Kansas. I went to college out here, and I just stuck around. It just made more sense because played 7 years pro ball abroad, so it just made more sense. I was only in America 3-4 months out of a year, so it's like might as well live where it's cheap at. So I kind of just stuck around.
So what is the process of even getting to that level of athletics like?
For me, it was a tough process, to be honest. I never thought the accomplishments I made with basketball, I never thought that I would get there. Because to be honest, I went to a small college. I didn't go like big time Division I or anything like that. I went to a small college, about 500-600 people. I was never expected to play basketball. I was setting up to be a financial advisor once I graduated, but I just had some opportunities, man, and I just grinded it out, made the best of every situation I was in.
So we definitely got to talk about growing up, though, because, I mean, it's not a lot of people who are like, hey, first off, I'm going to college. And then secondly, I'm going to college to be a financial advisor. Most people that I know, I mean, I went to school to essentially be a financial advisor. Most people that I know, they went to school just to get a degree and said they had one. They're getting communications degrees. They're getting degrees in criminal justice. But you had a business mind at an early age. How'd that happen?
And to be honest, I've always had a business mind. My father, he was a hustler. He did whatever it took to get money legally. I remember I used to wash cars for money. Guys would play basketball where I lived at. I would buy a bunch of Gatorades, water, sell them. Like I gamble, play video games for money. Like I've always had that business mindset. And to be honest, when I went to college, I started off at just going to like a local junior college where I was at. And that was just because everybody says, like, you got to go to college. So I just went to get a business degree. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it or anything like that. Just went to my local community college, got a business degree. And I wasn't even playing basketball at the time. And I dropped out of school. I was just like, school's not for me. I was hanging around the wrong crowd. And I mean, basketball actually got me to where so I started taking school a lot more serious.
That's interesting because it's kind of true for a lot of people or some people, because you can't even play basketball unless you have the grades, unless you're showing up to class, and there's that expectation on student athletes.
And I mean, I played in 6 different countries, man, and the way America has it set up is horrible. Like I'll be the first to tell you, I hate everything about being in the classroom. And then when you got countries like I played in Spain, Germany, in America, they tie school and sports together. Like if you don't have good grades, you can't play sports. But what if I'm a top tier athlete like a Luka Doncic, who was a pro at 14, but I suck at school? That means I can't play basketball even though I'm great at it. So I think America still needs to improve with that, because there's no reason why sports and school should go hand in hand.
That's a good point, because there's a lot of people who we probably knew who weren't able to play high school ball because their grades weren't great, but they were dope athletes.
Man. So I'm gonna be honest, some of my teammates that I played with were way better than me growing up, way better than me, but they were horrible in the classroom or bad SAT scores. They never even played college. So I mean, yeah, it's just horrible because it ruins a lot of people's lives, to be honest.
They're trying to hold us back, man.
Oh, for sure. I just watched the Jalen Rose on the EYL podcast, and he was saying like the two sports, basketball and football, that are predominantly black, they gotta wait the longest to go pro. So it's just like, yeah.
It's interesting when you look at it that way, and I think that's why traveling is so important, because you see how other people do it, and obviously it's working for them. You identified LeBron James at a young age. We probably have so many more hoopers or athletes who just did that instead of feeling like they're failures because they're not good at school, or they're not good at learning nonsense they're not going to apply in their life when they could be doing so many other things that are going to actually impact their life. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I'm like, for me, like I said, like I have a degree, and I'll be the first to tell you I'm horrible at school. Like I never had the attention span, and then it's like, well, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a billionaire. Just listening to a college professor, can they really teach me how to be a millionaire or a billionaire? But like, let me talk to somebody that I know has been successful in their life financially. I can take everything they have in, but just a regular professor, yeah, it's never been something that interests me.
That's very interesting. So, pro sports. How did you transition from sports into the pro?
So like I said, I went to a small college. Never thought that I would be a professional because my school was so small. I mean, I knew I had the skill set and everything. Honestly, I've always been great at networking. Like I've got an opportunity to I played in 6 different countries. I played in Mexico, Spain, Ireland, El Salvador, Germany, and Armenia. I think that's all 6 of them. But it's like, once you get an opportunity, and this is with anything in life, if you make the best of that opportunity, better situations will come. Yeah, I started my career in Mexico, and I was actually just talking to one of my boys. It's like, when I started my career 7 years ago in Mexico, it was when like, you're going to Mexico? Is it safe? And this and that. I'm like, well, I'm from Baltimore. So, I mean, I'm sure like you sometimes just gotta take a chance. And I mean, honestly, when you actually in Mexico, I mean, it's like Mexico is it's not it's not bad at all, to be honest. So
sometimes people will try to put fear in the things that are taking you to the next level.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think it's the news. Like they try to make all these places seem so bad. And I mean, if you want to look at numbers, America has more prisoners, more crimes than any other place in the world for the most part. So I mean, it's like, if I can make it here, I can go there to make money and do what I love.
Yeah. I know for a while it didn't seem like going international was as lucrative, but now it seems like it's a pretty good way to go for athletes that still want to continue to play and get paid.
It is one thing that people don't know outside the sports world. I mean, it's really like levels to professional basketball. Like, you got your top tier guys who, like, they could play in the NBA if they wanted to. Then you got your mid-level in that tier. I'm like a mid-level guy. Then you got your low-level guys who want to just say that they're pro for their Instagram bio and they playing for peanuts and stuff like that. But yeah, it definitely could be lucrative depending on the situation that you're in, for sure. Because I've seen a bunch of guys come from nothing and become multimillionaires through basketball. And I see a bunch of people that live a fake lifestyle when I know that they're not getting it like they say they are. So it just all depends.
What is the pay like overseas for the different levels of players?
So I'll say, like, if you're a low level, you could get anywhere. I'll say like as low as like $1,000 a month, and that's like guys that are straight out of college, want to give themselves the opportunity. And then you got the high level where you might be making, and this is at the highest level, you might be making $5-6 million in a season. So you literally, like, that's really a broad spectrum. And I mean, like, it sounds bad when he's like, well, a guy might make $1,000 a month or something like that. But I mean, these teams, they are covering, it's almost like an internship. Like, they are covering still your housing, your meals. So you don't have to pay for anything. Like, it's still a low amount of money, but that's more so to get your foot in the door type deal.
Yeah. Are they are they teaching you financial literacy once they start paying you like that, or is that up to the athletes themselves?
Nope, they don't teach you anything. It's really like, to be honest, might sound extreme, but like playing basketball is really it's almost like slavery, to be honest. Like they give you this amount of money and they want you to do everything. It's almost like you're a little boy, especially like in Europe. Like you got curfew, you got all these practices. Like no matter what they pay you, they're gonna get the most out of you. They don't teach you anything. Not that I've ever expected a team to teach me anything, but yeah, they don't teach you anything. It's just you really coming to do your job. Like you're doing your job, you're going to do everything we tell you. And if you don't do your job, you're out of here and we're bringing in the next American. So
that's crazy, bringing in the next American. Because I'm sure they got a big old pipeline.
Oh yeah, they do for sure. Because I mean, you got only like 2% plays professional at the professional level. And I mean, I got so many crazy stories, but the thing about with basketball is these teams, they have so many agents reaching out to them. They got players, they probably getting thousands of emails a day from players, agents. You're always replaceable. I mean, it's the same with a regular job in the States. You're always replaceable. If you leave, they'll find another one, or if you're not performing, they'll find somebody. So it's definitely.
Would you say the experience is worth it?
Oh, for sure it's worth it, because like I played in places that I know I probably would have never gone to had I not played basketball. Some of the people that I met, like some of my best friends were actually my former teammates that I played with. And those are some of the guys that helped me get to have an interest in stocks and options and crypto and stuff like that. So actually, that's how I found out about you. A guy, I'll never forget. In 2020, a guy, this is when I first started like getting into stocks and investing. And he was like, "Yeah, I just brought Todd course." I'm like, "Who is Todd?" Like I know about some other guys. I'm like, "Who is Todd?" Like Todd Capital. He gave me the login so I could get one of your courses. It was the vending machine, and then I had got your options course, and I was just glued to that. And I was like, I started following you. I'm like, man, this guy thinks just like how I think. Like people think you're extreme in your way of thinking, but I swear everything you say is the truth. Like, and that's why I've been a big fan of yours ever since 2020. Like,
that's dope.
Like I've had debates.
We live in an extreme world, man. It's hard you can't straddle the fence on a lot of these things.
Yeah, and it makes me mad because like I tell people like nobody wants to work a job. You can say all that you're passionate about your job, but nobody wants to work a job if they have the option to be successful working for themselves. Even political stuff you say, I'm sure people are like, "Oh man, Todd's extreme. Todd says crazy stuff," but it's not really crazy. It's just people, they're stuck in this box and they don't want to think outside of the box.
Exactly. They don't want to challenge the thoughts that have been ingrained in them. They don't want to have to create their own thoughts. They rather just lean on what everybody's saying and what's been accepted as the norm.
Exactly. Like I've had so many debates. I remember like you were going on a kind of not really a rant, but just saying about like the political and the Joe Bidens, and it just used to make me mad that you would see our people acting like Joe Biden was the savior or something. He's not saving nobody. That guy don't care about us. Like,
man, he got a long history of doing the opposite.
Yeah, and like I used to explain this to people. People always tell me I'm crazy and everything, but it's just like some people they'll never understand.
Yeah. So, what are you doing as a career now?
Right now I work in sales. I'm trying to get out the 9-to-5. I'm big, like I really do. Like I'm like I do whatever it takes to get some money. I'm big in the options trading. I'm a part of a few groups. I'm big into crypto. I do sports betting. I do whatever I can to make some money, to be honest.
How old are you right now?
I'm 31.
How long have you been out the league?
So I last played in 2021.
Oh, wow.
Like, I wouldn't even. What'd you say?
So that's recent.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say like I say I'm an ex-ball player, but if the right opportunity came, I would. Like I'm still in shape. I still work out regularly. It's a lot of, ever since COVID, it's been like a lot of BS within the overseas world, especially after COVID with the vaccines,
traveling and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of situations. Like in 2021, I went to play in in Latin America, and after like I was there for about a month, and the team I was on just folded, and it was just like that's why I told myself, I'm like, do I really want to keep doing this? Like, keep leaving for 9 months at a time, and I've had situations where like these teams, they don't pay you or they pay you late, or it's just a lot that comes with it. So I told myself, like, I had that bad experience, and then 2020 I was in Germany. I was stuck in Germany for 3 months, and I was just like, man, like, do I still want to do this? But like, if the right situation came about, I would get back to it for sure.
Yeah. Were you able to save up a good amount of money while you were playing?
To be honest, I didn't save like I should have. Like, when I was in my playing career, I wasn't in the stocks, I wasn't in the crypto. I was just enjoying life. I was partying a lot, living like a real, like, that's another thing. Like, with the basketball, it comes a certain lifestyle. Like, I was partying, I was having my fun. Nobody was really in my ear. Like, it took for COVID to hit. That's when I actually learned about the stock market, because I was stuck in my place in Germany for like 3 months. And at first, I never forget, I brought an Xbox, and I never played video games, but I had brought an Xbox, and then I was like, I'm not about to just waste all this time. And I always wanted to learn the stock market, but I thought it was harder than what it is. And then I just tapped in on Instagram with you, Earn Your Leisure, Wall Street Trap, and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, this is not hard at all. And I remember, like, I was when I was making, like, when the stocks were down and everybody's making all that money options trading, I was making so much money, like $1,000 in 10 minutes. Then, like, because it was just like that. But yeah, that's one of my biggest regrets, was just not handling my money well during my playing career.
Yeah. So what was one of your most successful investments?
One of my most long-term, or like an option play.
Let's do both.
For option, and this is the first option I ever did. I'll never forget. I did an option with Facebook. It was in 2020, and this was, like I said, everything was down, and then you knew everything was going back up. My first ever option, I lied to you not, I made like $3,000, and like, it probably was like 4 minutes. And like, $3,000 ain't a lot of money, but when it's your first option and it's in 4 minutes, I'm like, man, am I doing this right? I'm like, it's too easy. Now I got hit with some other options after that, and so, but like long term, I'm big on Apple. I'm just and I haven't. One thing about when you're trying to chase that short term money, it kind of throw you away from the long term. But I'm still with Apple. Like I said, I got so many Apple products, so that's what I'm into. I'm still trying to, between Apple and the dividends, like Apple stock, and then I love the monthly dividends, even though it's not much, the monthly dividends. So like O'Reilly, like SPG, they don't do monthly dividends, but SPG, like, I love the REITs that just give them nice dividends.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get some of that O. That's the stock set for realty, right? O.
Yep. That monthly dividend, even though the dividend isn't much, ain't nothing like getting paid monthly. So
right, yeah, because the bills come monthly.
Right, and that's why I told myself, like, I mean, I'm just trying to get enough dividends to cover this bill, or do that, or do this. So yeah, like, it's just crazy how far I've come in the stock market, because most people, like, I've told so many other, like, teammates and everything. I just regret that when I was playing ball, getting all this money, blowing it, popping bottles and stuff like that. It's just like, man, if I would have copped shares of this and did this and did that. So that's one of my biggest regrets for sure.
It's funny because I was going to ask you if you could go back and change anything, what would you change?
Oh, handling the money for sure. Certain places I played, I would have. I would say I have like a big attitude. Like, I used to, like, I've left teams if they were late on my money for like a week or two. They were late. I just up and left or threw a fit about it. So that's another big regret I have, just not being the most professional about things. But it's just me being the stubborn guy that I am. It's like, I need my money when I need it. Because it's like, in America, if I had a 9-to-5 job, I would never get my money late. It's always every 2 weeks. But these teams, like I said, they take advantage of it so much. Everybody sees the good thing about professional basketball, but they don't understand, like a lot of teams, they'll pay you monthly. And I've seen guys, so let's say you get paid on the 29th of every month. I've seen teams cut guys on the 28th just to avoid paying them.
Hey, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I even got I got high level like one of my buddies, he played in the NBA for a little bit, and he played overseas too, and team just owed him like 80 grand, 90 grand. Even me, to be honest, every team I played on owes me money that I know I'll never get. But I'm probably owed I'm owed a good chunk from each team I played on for the most part.
Wow,
So,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
the thing is, these teams, they take advantage of you because the FIBA court, the FIBA basketball court is in Switzerland. So that means if I want to take a team to court for owing me money, that means I gotta get a lawyer. I gotta go to Switzerland. And it's just these teams know that players aren't doing it now, unless it's like some crazy money. But yeah, like every team I played on owes me like bonuses. Oh, we make the playoffs, you'll get an extra couple thousand a month, or if we win the championship, we'll pay you this. But it's just a bunch of bull crap.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You've had success in the stock market relatively quickly. And I like to draw the connection a lot of times between like people who compete in anything at a high level and how they find success in other areas. How do you think that finding excellence and success in basketball has allowed you to find some success in business and investing?
Just in basketball, I've always learned that just you're gonna have your highs and you're gonna have your lows. And when it comes to investing, I mean, I've had success, but a lot of the success is just I got in at the perfect time. Like COVID, if you're a first time investor, like it was the perfect time. Like even my brother, like we got in at the perfect time, and like it just showed me I mean, it's all about when you learn something whenever you get in at the perfect time. And so basketball did help with that. Like I said, the main thing that it helped with, honestly, it sounds bad, but COVID helped me more than anything. Because had it not been for COVID, I probably would have never took the time out. Like that was the time I needed to actually lock in, and I'm gonna do something productive. I'm gonna study the stock market. I'm gonna watch Market Mondays. I'm gonna listen to Todd's podcast. I'm gonna listen to Chris Johnson. Like y'all guys helped me more than y'all would ever know it.
What are some gems you would give for some other maybe athletes or just people in general? Let's keep it athletes. What are some gems you would give for athletes if they want to get into a space where they're more investment minded and less like spending minded, lifestyle minded?
I would just tell them to be honest, man. And I've learned from this, that partying and all of that, that's all temporary. When you buy them stocks and you do these options, that's long term. A lot of the things, like you live crazy lifestyles abroad trying to impress people that are in your life temporary anyway. Like to be honest, when you play pro ball, whether you partying or not, women gonna come and go regardless, stuff like that. So it's just like all the money I spent partying and just having a good time, I could still have a good time and spend half the money. Now all that money, me and one of my teammates talk about that, all the money we were making, if I was just getting shares back then, like 7 years ago, even like in like Bitcoin and stuff like that, like how much more money I would have right now, it just would have been crazy.
Right. What are your plans for the future? What does that look like for you?
To touch $1 billion, to be honest, that's my plan. And one thing about me, I'm telling you, like everybody knows, whenever I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna touch $1 billion. My biggest problem is I need to get in the room more. Like I'm a quiet guy. I'm always been to myself, and this is me taking a huge step, meeting you, and I just need to continue to network with other people that are like-minded, because all the people I've been around growing up, it's been closed-minded. Oh, you got to go to college, you got to get a good job, when you don't have to do those things. So me, I'm just trying to continue to grow, meeting the people that I need to meet in order to get to where I want to be at. But it's coming soon. I'm telling you, like, give me a couple years and you'll be like, man, I remember I talked to that guy. He spoke it into existence.
What is something that people underestimate about the professional ball and the whole money situation experience that's actually not true?
Well, they just underestimate people. They just think that like everybody that plays professional basketball is not a millionaire. That's like the biggest, the top, like so many people, like oh, what's up, big money or this and that. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I made good money, but everybody that plays professional basketball is not like a billionaire or a million. They're not making crazy money. For some people, it's just like a job. Like they make as much as they would make working at a good job in America. But I mean, the thing we do have is, like I said, we don't have to, when we're over on our team, we don't have to pay for housing. Your meals are covered. Everything is covered. So you're going over there and you're coming back with a lump sum of money just because everything is covered. Like when I was overseas, to be honest, like hanging out and haircuts. Other than that, my team paid for everything. They pay for your phone bill. They pay for any expense you might have. They're covering.
Are you able to make sponsorship money outside of your paycheck out there?
Oh yeah, for sure. You have like restaurants that want to sponsor you. You have school, like we used to do like school visits. They would pay us money. Come to the school and just dribble the ball or just little things like they like. There's so much money you can make overseas that some people they make average money overseas, but they're building their brand to where so like that they're like a household name. Like I got a buddy. He played he's played like 16 years in Germany or something crazy like that. But all the like he's in a bunch of like ads and sponsorships over there. He's training kids, making money to where so he's probably making more money outside of actually playing basketball than he is. So it's just about your networking, and that's another thing I wish I could have done more. Like I've always been, I'm here to hoop, I'm here to play ball, and that's it. When I've had teammates that were actually networking and stuff like that. But if I ever do play again, trust me, I've learned from all my experiences for sure.
So it seems like a lot shifted for you through the pandemic.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like, I'm not even the same person I was because, like I said, I've always been basketball, basketball, basketball. Now I'm basketball, finances, long-term wealth, generational wealth. I never heard even thought about generational wealth before I was playing basketball. And that's one of the things that basketball will do to you. Like, it will, because you train so hard. I'm working out 2-3 times a day that you don't take the time out to want to learn stocks. You don't want to just do the little things. So it's like now my mindset has changed so much. It's like I'm a completely different person when it comes to like financials and everything like that. So
That's a good point because a lot of times people will say, because we've seen athletes make a lot of money, lose that money, have bad advisors and things like that. And they assume that like they were just like ignorant when really they were just occupied. It's like you're doing a lot. I'm sure your days don't look like the average day.
when you're training all day long, you got like especially overseas, like you might train 3 times a day, and it's like and then like in Europe, you're 6-7 hours ahead. You can't really keep up to the mark with the market and stuff like that when you're ahead. I mean, it's not bad if you got like long term stuff, but you might jump into an options trade and you're in a whole nother time zone. You might not check your computer or your phone. You might get clapped in your trade. So yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like it's a lot to it that people don't understand.
Mess around and get clapped.
Yeah, get clapped for sure.
Um, let's see. Have you done any like real estate stuff? Are you looking at real estate? Have you looked at starting your own business or brand?
I do. I want to start. I want to start like a business or a brand. I'm like really good when it comes to like sports betting, and everybody tells me like, man, you could really make money charging for picks. Like I've had some great days, especially over the past week, and that's something that I want to get into. In 2020, I had gotten to real estate. I was actually getting like studying to get my license, and I kind of just put it on the back burner as far as like getting. It's just like it's so many things that I want to do, and I read a lot of books. And one of my favorite books, it's a quick read, but it's Rick Ross book, like How to Boss Up. And he says it like before you can be, instead of trying to be like good at a bunch of stuff, you just need to be great at one thing. And that's what I'm at the age now where I'm trying to just find that one thing that I want to be great at before I can branch out and try to be good at other things. So, but yeah, like
100%.
working is definitely not for me. Like a 9 to 5, retiring at 65, no, that ain't for me at all.
Do you run across any any other athletes who might be interested in like working with you or doing a deal with you? Does that go on in sports, or do people mostly just do other things outside of their peers?
I've had like companies reach out to me, want to do like branding stuff, like sports drink companies or vitamin companies reach out to me in the past about wanting to kind of do stuff. And like I said, I've always been such a quiet guy, and like that's never been me. I mean, that's one of the things I need to work on is, like I said, like showing my face more, being out more. Just I've always just been a laid back guy. Like I'm not too big on social media. So that's one of the things I need to work on is getting in the room and actually networking with people. And it's going to come eventually. I've always been that personality. And I think it's me being from Baltimore, like we known as being like ruthless and we ain't friendly and everything like that. So I've been like that my whole life. So I'm finally like, all right, I need to start opening up more to people.
It sounds like there's opportunities within opportunities, but it's difficult to capture them all if you're occupied with the immediate opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Because like people even tell me all the time, they like usually when they ask me about my plans or the future, I've always been like, I'm thinking about today, I'm thinking about right now, and I need to get out of that mentality because I mean, at the end of the day, when you're trying to create generational wealth, you gotta think longer down the road. So, like I said, it's all little things on my end that I'm slowly improving with for sure.
Yeah, that is interesting because again, it's like there's so many different ways for you to be maximizing what you have going on. But it's like if you really want to be really good at what you're doing, it's tough to take your eye off the ball. So it kind of talks about like what you were saying before. It's like I want to focus on being really, really good at what's paying me. But if
Exactly.
you go outside and you start doing different things, now you're taking your eye off the ball. And so it kind of goes back to the Rick Ross quote, which maybe you were living before you even knew of the Rick Ross quote.
Yeah. And like you said, like I said, it was always basketball or bust. Like, and you get 24 hours in a day, but it was like my days were basketball, basketball, basketball. Even when I first started learning about stocks, like I said, it took for a world pandemic for me to finally like, what's my plans after basketball? Because when I was in Germany and COVID hit, I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, I'm like, what's next for me? Because this is when it was like the extreme. Like, well, this is the when like basketball wasn't going on anywhere. We didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what am I going to do next? Like, I've never had the time to actually think about what was next because basketball, like I said, I played basketball 9 months out of the year, had my 3 months off in the off season, but it's always been basketball, basketball, basketball.
How much does seeing, because I mean, I think we live in a different era. We live in an era where it's kind of cool to do business. And so we talk about LeBron James, we talk about Jay-Z, we talk about Kevin Hart, and we talk about their business endeavors as much, if not more, than we talk about what they're doing on the court or on the stage or what have you. Is that something that you've kind of tapped into, or did still that take the pandemic for you to kind of really fall into it? Or is it a situation where through the pandemic, you started to kind of see like, okay, this is available and I can do it because I've seen other people who are out there who play sports who do these things?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely like that now. Like I see the business, like even like to be honest now with sports and basketball, it's like I don't care what these basketball players are doing on the court. I care about like the business moves that they're doing. Like I don't care. Like I used to watch a bunch of basketball games. To be honest, I rarely watch basketball games. I rarely want to hear people's interviews unless I know that they're business minded, like outside of the game. So that's just one of those things. It's kind of seeing like LeBron doing what he does or stuff like that. It's just like I know that they're not just strictly basketball. Like I know that even Kevin Durant, he's producer. LeBron, he's doing what he's doing. It's like when you see them, like they're not just athletes, but you still have so many people that look at them just as athletes. When you take somebody like LeBron, LeBron might be making more money outside of basketball than he is actually playing the game because LeBron is like, I don't even think he's the highest paid in the NBA. So it's like.
The crazy thing is not only has he made more off the court than on the court, but he still has a long ass life.
Exactly.
The dude is maybe like 38.
Yeah, not even 40 yet. And it's like,
it's like Kobe. Like Kobe, rest in peace. If what happened to Kobe wouldn't have happened to Kobe, man, and his mentality, I know he would have been doing some crazy stuff in business. He was already doing some really cool things in business, already made a bunch of money. They say the body armor deal made him as much money through that deal than he made playing sports his entire career.
Yeah, and that's crazy. And that's the thing. And that's a perfect example of somebody like Kobe, because they say Kobe, like when he first retired, it was kind of like, what am I going to do? Like, because that's how he was in the NBA longer than his regular life. So, and I mean, before he passed, he finally was getting into investments. He was like made a short film or something like that. And it's just one of those things, like you just got to find those opportunities outside of basketball or outside of whatever else, just so you can, I mean, it's so much money to be made in this world now. So it's just like, you got to tap in.
Yep. Somebody asked if you have a favorite country that you visited or played in.
Oh, my favorite country I played in is Spain, and it's not even close. Man, I played in this town called Benarroz, right on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. It's like a Miami, but it's a beach town. Go run in the beach. Like, man, it's beautiful. It's like a lot of people from like England, and they go retire there. Spain is by far. I played 3 years in Spain, so by far my favorite place.
That's dope. Getting close to the end, I definitely appreciate you for coming on. It's cool to see how old are you? You said 31. You're still young, man.
I know. That's why I'm still at the perfect age to where it's all because I'm not going to be in Kansas forever. I'm trying to transition out of here. I'm thinking about maybe like Dallas or Vegas. Those are 2 places, but I'm at that perfect age now where like I had that lengthy basketball career, but I got so much going on. So just time to see what's next.
100%. Who is somebody that you look up to and why?
The biggest person I look up to, man, is my you speaking on celebrities or just like regular people, or
I don't know, but keep it business related.
So I mean, my brother Kenneth, that's like the main person I look up to. Like we talk about stocks, we talk about it. Like I'm the one that told him about the stock market, and he went all in because he has a son, my nephew, and he would just had money in like a savings account or like a CD or something, and he took all that money out and he put it all in, like he brought like Tesla, and that money is like, I mean, you know it ain't grow at all in the savings account, but it's just grown like crazy once he threw it in the stock market. And I remember him telling me, but yeah, that's like my biggest influence. He played ball and everything. So yeah, my brother for sure. And
what?
then
yeah.
What were you saying?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say celebrity wise, it's Rick Ross and Dame Dash. Like them 2 guys, man, especially Rick Ross, because Rick Ross, he's kind of, I listen to him about everything, and I read all his books, and Rick Ross just says like even in his book, he says like, I'm not the best rapper. I've never had crazy selling albums, but I make more money than all of these rappers selling more, because he has so many businesses and he's tapped in with everything. So Rick Ross is definitely probably some celebrity-wise somebody I look up to.
The funny thing about the music business as it currently exists is rappers kind of get paid last.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They definitely get paid last.
And so it kind of sounds like an employee relationship. You work within an organization, although it appears as though you're that dude, you're on the track, riding the track, you're the famous celebrity, you're still a part of this massive system where the owner gets paid, the executives get paid, the marketing team gets paid, everybody gets paid,
everybody
and
gets
you
paid
get
before
paid.
you. Oh, yeah. And it's the same way with basketball, to be honest. You selling out these arenas, your director's going to get paid, your coaches going to get paid, your managers, and then the basketball players who do all the work, we getting paid last. So I definitely know how it feels.
And the reason why I bring that up is because as it relates to Rick Ross, he's saying, and Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, the reason why they can make more money outside of the court than on the court is because now they own the system. So now they're the dude who's getting paid first or very, very close to first. as opposed to a part of somebody else's system. Within the businesses that LeBron James owns, there's probably some LeBron James type person who's making all the money for LeBron James, but he just happens to be at the different part of the food chain. So it's like we got to change where we are in the food chain, and that's going to determine our income.
Yeah, and I think a lot of athletes and celebrities that they don't take advantage of that platform. Like all these players, like even Dame Dash said it. Like, man, you could take a guy like LeBron James, Steph Curry, like. Those guys don't need the NBA anymore. Like their platform is so big, they can make their own league and they can keep all the money in they can keep all the money in. They don't need the NBA. But once you get to a certain level, you don't need the NBA anymore. I mean, it won't happen. But Dame Dash has always said that, like, we need to take advantage of our platform.
It's kind of like Kanye now.
Yeah, it's the exact thing as Kanye when he was trying to house way and everything, but he did it, or he can do it.
He can do it, but I don't think he gets here without being there first.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Some people, they need to just see what they can do. And you need somebody to take a chance on you, because if you take a chance on yourself just jumping out there, you might fail. But at the same time, you can't be afraid to fail either. But yeah, I think Kanye needed to see what was going on, like what Yeezy could do. But at the same time, it's just like, then you see Adidas. I don't know if you saw, but they like made their like a shoe that looked like Yeezy.
Yeah.
It pretty much seemed like they trying to kick them out. So it's like you make us see what we can sell without them. So it's like definitely time to do your own thing.
Nike kind of did the same thing, but I think the gem there is that you kind of got to leverage an existing platform while you're growing your base in your own platform. And so the cool thing about Kanye is he made money while he was growing his platform for shoes.
Yeah.
And so where he took Yeezy to now, as opposed to where it was at Nike, is way different. At Nike had one sneaker line. They let him release like a few colorways per year. And it wasn't even on a yearly basis. Like he wasn't putting out new shoes every year. It was like every other year, whenever they decided he could do it. So he wanted to go to Adidas, have more creative control. Now he has a whole line of sneakers, selling out stores, crazy resale value on the sneakers. And so now he's like, all right, well, now I can go direct to consumer. So people might think it's over for Ye, but I think it's just beginning.
Oh, it's definitely just beginning. I wouldn't count that man out of anything. Even what he said, like, I'm done having these conversations with people that don't got more money than me. So I never count him out.
What sets apart successful people from those who give up, fail, or never get started?
Can you repeat that?
What sets apart successful people from those who give up, fail, or never get started?
Oh, it's not worse than the person that never gets started, man. I got so many people that tell me, like, why you do this, or why you want to invest your money in the stock market? Why do you want to put thousands of dollars in a savings account? So the people that don't take the chance, they just are, if you don't take a chance, you'll never, like, I hate those what if people. Like, I deal with a bunch of what if people all the time, and yeah, that what if, or what you could have done. I tell people, man, stop living in the past, man. If you got an idea or a dream, go after it. You fail, you can always make that money back. You got to get a job for a little bit. You'll get that money back, but at least say you tried.
Yep. What's your favorite business or investing book?
One of my favorite books. So I read a lot of books by Black authors. That's been my thing lately. I like it's a book called Financial Freedom, My Only Hope, by a guy named Jeremiah Brown. That's a good book. He also has a book called Bank on Me, We Don't Need Banks. That's two of my favorite books, and then the Rick Ross book. So I guess I gave you three, but I read a bunch of books by Black authors. Yeah, so I read a lot.
What does wealth mean to you?
Wealth means to me just to have my time back. To do anything when I'm able to. I don't have to ask anybody for time off, or I can do whatever I want when I want to do it, knowing that money's still going to come in and me and my family's going to be good. So that's what wealth means to me.
That's a great definition.
Yeah.
Money coming in, whether you got to show up for it or not.
Yeah, that's nothing like that passive income, and that's ultimately what everybody's goal should be. Whereas I can do what I want when I want. Like I see some people, I wake up at 3 p.m. If you could do that, that's great, because I mean, at the end of the day, That's what wealth looks like, doing whatever you want and nobody can question it.
100%. Man, thanks for coming on the show. It was great
Yeah.
learning about you. I'm sure we'll be connecting more, maybe do some Instagram lives, or, I mean, if you're ever out in California, we could definitely connect.
I appreciate it, man.
Where can they find you? Where can they follow you? And where can they support what you have going on?
My Twitter is TonyG1014, and my Instagram is the same thing, TonyG1014. So if y'all want to follow me, go ahead, man. And like I said, I thank you again for having me on here. It's always been a dream to chop it up with you. I love everything you're doing. You taught me more than you would ever know. And other guests you've had on your show, I've learned a lot from them as well.
Dope, man. That's what we do it for.
Yes,
I got tired of increasing everybody else's community wealth when we could just be building these platforms for ourselves, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. I listen to every podcast you drop. So, yep, it's definitely an honor.
Make sure you guys check out everything we got in the show notes, options course, freedom pack, the mastermind. If you're not a part of the mastermind, you need to be a part of the mastermind. This morning, we did a whole class on making money wholesaling land. Great conversation. People got a ton of information out of it. This is high level stuff. He broke out the financial calculator. He started showing folks how they can seller finance both in and out of the transaction to effectively create money by doing nothing. Crazy conversation. And you guys missed out on it. The day before that, we were talking about pricing your products and going over the 3 different ways you can price your products. So if you weren't there, you missed out. And then also this week, I was talking about automating your business through Zapier. We can connect different apps to free your time up and make your business run way more efficiently. Join that mastermind. It's only $99 a month. We have a call every single morning at 8:00 in the morning. We got a Facebook group. Tomorrow we're going to work out together in order to support one of our friends, Jim. So we're really out here building a massive organization of just people helping other people, doing great things. I've seen people just blow up their business just by being connected to the mastermind. So you want to be there, you should be there. I'm there. Coach Bruce is there. Coach Michelle Welch is there. We all in there doing whatever we got to do to grow you. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you leave us a 5-star rating. We like 5-star ratings. Also leave us a review so that we can learn what we can do to improve. Because if we can improve, we need to improve. And with the best feedback is going to come from you, not just from my ego and what I think is I'm putting out there. But give me that feedback. Give me that information. I appreciate it. We will see you on the next one in our series of talking to different professional athletes. It's going to be a doozy. I'm excited to bring you guys this content. So continue to tap in. Don't sleep. Like, share, subscribe. Get this out to your friends and family because they need this information too. Charles Oglesby, Top Millionaire. We out.